What really happens when NBA players go from highlight reels to nowhere to be found? One season they're dropping 40 or 50 points. The next, they're out of the league, gone. Was it injuries, ego, bad teams, or something deeper behind the scenes? In this video, we're diving into the shocking stories of NBA players who had it all and somehow lost their place in the league. We start off with Devonte Graham, the man who holds the record for the longest game winner in NBA history. The 6'1" scorer came into the league as a second-round pick in 2018 after spending 4 years at Kansas. In his second NBA season with the Charlotte Hornets, Graham averaged 18.2 points per game and scored a career-high 40 points against the Brooklyn Nets. After 3 remarkable seasons with the Hornets, he was traded to the New Orleans Pelicans, where his numbers started to drop. The Pels traded him to the San Antonio Spurs, where the real problems started. Graham played a total of 43 games in 2 seasons with the Spurs, had a couple of injuries, and faced DWI charges. The Spurs sent him back to the Hornets, who immediately waived him. Graham tried to get back in the league playing for the South Bay Lakers in the G League in the 2024-25 season, but after no NBA team showed interest, he decided to go overseas. He signed with Crvena Zvezda from Belgrade, Serbia, and will play in the Euroleague in the 2025-26 season. Belgrade is the current home of another former elite scorer in the NBA. Jabari Parker was a big deal when the Milwaukee Bucks drafted him second overall in the 2014 NBA draft after 1 year at Duke. Parker and Giannis Antetokounmpo were seen as the cornerstones for the future Bucks, but Jabari had no luck. After only 25 games into his rookie season, he suffered an ACL tear that sidelined him for the season. He returned the following season, and it seemed like he was going to be just fine. Parker averaged 20.1 points per game in the 2016-17 season, but unfortunately, he hurt the same knee, and he was never the same player again. He stayed in the league for the next 5 seasons, playing for 5 different teams, and when the Boston Celtics waived him in 2022, he was out of the NBA. The following season, Parker signed with Barcelona, one of the best teams in Europe. He spent 2 years in Spain, averaging double digits in scoring in both the ACB and the Euroleague. Going into the 2025-26 season, Parker signed with Partizan Belgrade. Back in 2018, Kendrick Nunn went undrafted, but worked his way into the league. Pat Riley and the Miami Heat signed him in 2019, and Nunn was ready for the opportunity. He scored 112 points in his first 5 NBA games, setting a record for an undrafted player. He started every game that season and was named to the All-Rookie second team, after averaging 15.3 points per game and played in the 2020 NBA Finals. He continued to shine in his second season in Miami, and after that signed a 2-year deal with the Los Angeles Lakers. Shortly after, he was diagnosed with a bone bruise in his right knee, and that was the beginning of the downfall for Nunn. He barely played for the Lakers and in 2023 was traded to the Washington Wizards. Following the 2022-23 season, no team was ready to take the risk with Nunn, and he signed with Panathinaikos from Greece, which proved to be the right move. Nunn won the Euroleague and the Greek Championship in 2024, and the following year was the MVP and the leading scorer of the Euroleague. It seems like he is ready for an NBA comeback, but with the status and earnings he has in Europe, Nunn will probably stay there. Another player whom the Lakers trusted was Talen Horton-Tucker. The team from LA picked him up in a draft night trade in 2019, and in his second season in the league, he played respectable minutes with the Lakers, and even LeBron James loved to play with him. Horton-Tucker had a solid bench role with the Lakers, scoring 40 points against the Golden State Warriors. However, in the 2022 offseason, the Lakers traded him to the Utah Jazz, where his shooting percentages were quite low. After 2 years in Utah, Horton-Tucker played for the Chicago Bulls in the 2024-2025 season, and after averaging only 6.5 points per game, he was out of the league. Still, he was able to sign a great deal with the defending Euroleague champion, Fenerbahce, and is off to a great start of his international career in Turkey. Another player who moved to the Euroleague this season is Hamidou Diallo. He came into the league as a second-round draft pick in 2018 after 1 season at Duke, and the NBA fans heard about him as he won the dunk contest in his rookie year. Diallo barely played in his first 2 years with the Thunder, and after improving in his third year, he was traded to Detroit. He was inconsistent with the Pistons, often missing time with minor injuries. He was obviously not ready to play in 2023, as the Washington Wizards waived him only a day after signing him to a deal. They gave him another shot on a 10-day contract. But after only 2 games in the capital, he was gone. Diallo went to China to play for the Shanxi Lungs, where he averaged 22.5 points per game in the 2024-25 season. This year, he moved to Europe, where he will play for Baskonia from Spain. Moving to Europe may turn out really well, and a real example of that is Lonnie Walker. The Spurs drafted him 18th overall in 2018, and Walker needed time before he played valuable minutes. He spent 4 seasons with the Spurs, averaging 12.1 points per game in the last one, and then he signed with the Lakers. His numbers were quite the same in LA, but Walker couldn't sign a long-term deal. He moved on with the Brooklyn Nets in the 2023-24 season, where he didn't hide his frustration with the coaching staff. His behavior and off-the-court issues made NBA teams pass on him, and Walker continued his career in Lithuania, playing for Žalgiris. He was one of the best players in the Euroleague, which got him a chance to return to the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers signed Walker last February, but didn't re-sign him after the season. Now, Walker is back to Europe again, this time playing for Maccabi Tel Aviv. Bryn Forbes is another guard who got a chance to play for the Spurs, but once he left, things went downhill. After ending up undrafted in 2016 out of Michigan State, Forbes earned a roster spot with the Spurs through the Summer League. He played all 82 games in the 2018-19 season, averaging 11.8 points per game on 42.6% shooting from deep. Things were going quite well the following year as well, and was even better when he joined the Milwaukee Bucks in 2020. Somehow, his career went into a downfall from that point on. He returned to San Antonio for a year, had short stints with the Nuggets and the Timberwolves, and was gone. Forbes did not play for 2 full years, and this season he is returning to the court with Aris from Greece. The next player on the list once scored 50 points in a single game. Malachi Flynn was drafted 29th overall at the 2020 NBA Draft by the Toronto Raptors. He played 20 minutes per game in his rookie season, but not even close to that in the following 2. During his 4th season, Flynn was traded to the New York Knicks, and 5 weeks later, to Detroit. While with the Pistons, Flynn scored 50 points against the Atlanta Hawks, tying him for the 2nd highest number of points scored by a player coming off the bench, and making him the player with the lowest career scoring average to score 50 points in an NBA game. Despite that performance, Flynn was able to sign only a 10-day deal with the Charlotte Hornets the following season, and after 4 appearances was out of the league. This season, he will play for Başakşehir of the Turkish League. Another player who suddenly disappeared from the NBA scene is Richaun Holmes. He was a solid backup center and rebounder for a full decade in the NBA, playing for the Sixers, Suns, Kings, Mavericks, and finally, the Wizards. He had solid numbers in Washington last season, averaging 7.4 points and 5.7 rebounds per game. However, the lack of shooting and not being an outside threat cost him a job in the NBA. Holmes was forced to look for his next destination overseas, and this season he is joining Kendrick Nunn in Panathinaikos. And probably the most surprising disappearance from the NBA goes to Rodrigue Beaubois. The 6-foot guard from Guadeloupe was discovered by Michael Pietrus at an open basketball camp in his native home island and moved to France. In 2009, he was drafted by the Oklahoma City Thunder and immediately traded to Dallas. He faced tough competition at the guard spot, but still used his minutes well. Beaubois once dropped 40 points on the Warriors and averaged as high as 8.9 points per game in the 2011-12 season, after winning the championship with the Mavs the year before. Many NBA teams were interested in him at the time, but he went to play overseas. After 3 seasons in Strasbourg and 4 in Baskonia, he signed with FS Pilsen in 2018, where he still plays today. Each of these 10 players still has a chance to return to the NBA, and whether that will be the case, we are about to see in the years to come.